I'm Duncan, I'm the founder, director and producer of Right Here Creative, and this is Ryan. Ryan takes care of the videography and captains the editing suite. I was born in Brighton and grew up in Sussex by the sea, and as a kid I loved films. We had a video player before I knew what one was, and we had a friend who owned a video shop, so I bathed in films. And it wasn't just the stunning visuals and the great soundtracks, I was always amazed at how film can tell such great stories in a relatively short space of time, and I've loved it ever since. And don't even get me started on the toy adverts. I was an absolute sucker for those. And probably, I still am. After growing up a little, I went to London to university to study film. Then there was a slight detour, moving back to Sussex, doing some work in Budapest and Helsinki, before going back to London, almost settling in Twickenham, where I set up an IT consultancy, before moving to the Cotswolds. I love sport. I used to play rugby. And now I've got back into tennis. This is Bungle, my walking buddy, and we live here, which is now famous for this. And like him, I like these. Anyway, enough about cars, let's talk about kit. You may remember Ryan from before, and he loves kit. And you can often find him doing this.
I'm not only obsessed with camera gear, I'm quite fond of playing one of these.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's a brief introduction to us. Let's get more comfy and a bit more in depth. What got you into video and film?
I studied fine art at university. I started making experimental films, sort of artworks really. And after I graduated, I sort of carried on using and learning about cameras and developing sort of like editing techniques. I was really enjoying doing that. And friends came to me really and sort of asked if I could help them with sort of various video projects that they wanted to do. And yeah, that sort of turned into me providing video services for other people.
I met Ryan about a year or so ago, and he did some graphic design work for me and a bit of website work, which is something you concentrated on at the time. And I knew you did a bit of videography, and that piqued an interest in me after my, let's call it a timeout, of getting distracted doing other things from what I really wanted to be doing. And I literally couldn't stop thinking about it. And I think I probably get pestering you with a lot of text messages. Let's do this. I've got some ideas. And as time wore on, I think we had more and more discussions about what we wanted to do. And it seemed like an obvious step for us, I think, to set up a business as we have done as a creative agency to get more work done, to bring our pretty shared ethos actually, but our very different skill sets into producing hopefully some really interesting, great films for people.
Yeah, I think it's about helping brands tell their story as much as, like when you came to me for the graphic work, you wanted to, get a particular message across or a particular visual, get people to know what it was you were about. And the more we chatted about things, and we realised, yeah, actually the video stuff is extremely effective at doing that.
Yeah.
Video has grown dramatically in the last number of years, and I mean we say it all the time. It's don't just tell people what you do, just show them.
Well, another thing we often talk about is that making videos become really easy because you can do it on a phone, you can point a camera at something and everything else, but there's a massive difference between just shooting a bit of video and the skill of filmmaking, and the skill of filmmaking hasn't changed. The technology's got much easier, much more accessible, but we know the skill is still there to make things look good, resonate properly, get your message across, get your story across.
Yeah, because I think
that's the important thing.
I think bad film and bad techniques get in the way of the story that you're trying to tell. People notice that, and it kind of
massively distracting.
Oftentimes we speak to clients and they say they want a video, and we say, okay, what do you want this video to do? How will it function? And what is it that you want us to deliver? We have a number of services that we offer, and video is not just video. That's a wide umbrella terminology of sort of like the kind of products that you can create.
It all comes back to how well it's done and how well that message is presented and how it gets across to the audience. Everyone's got a story to tell, and that's something we got very excited about, wasn't it, in the conversations that we had. And we know video and film is a great way to start telling those stories. And our experience of talking to clients and customers, what really strikes us is how passionate people are about their businesses, and we find that infectious because then we get excited about it as well, don't we?
Yeah, and I think video is a great tool for directly showing your passion for what it is you do, and that sort of creates it humanizes a brand or a person and feels like you sort of know them more personally. And I think ultimately you're more likely to take up a service or engage with somebody that you feel like you know.
You got some kind of affinity with them.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's what you feel closer to that brand rather than being a faceless organisation.
Ultimately, the role of video is to sort of provide understanding, whether that's sort of like understanding what a brand is, or who a person is, and what their aims are and what they're looking to achieve, or down to understanding how to use a product or be shown how to use a product.
We love the fact it's our job to bring your message out to potential customers and a wider audience. Ryan and I are the core of Right Here Creative, but we also have a pool of talent we can call on, such as animators, brand experts, sound designers, art directors, all with the aim of making our films as bespoke, powerful and effective as possible.